Let's begin by offering our respects to ISKCON founder Acharya and our preeminent Shiksha Guru, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataruvyaschа Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Okay, on behalf of the Education Department of ISKCON Chile, we would like to welcome all of you to our weekly Krishna book classes. We have with us here Auntie Neeta, Ayush, Devina, Dipti Adnani, Divya, Durga Prasad, Hari, Joli Nandwani, Kamala Nandini Mataji, Anjali Karnani, Karuna, Lavina Dadlani. We have Dr. Mangal Vishwanath, Manju Nihalani, Meenakshi, Priyanka Jha. My husband is there. My parents are there. Then we have Ritu Lalwani, Romi, Shailesh Latkar, Shantaram Latkar, Sheetal Latkar. We have Shreya Kalaria, we have Sri Radhe Hari Devidasi, we have Swami, and we have Vivansh. Okay, so what did we see in the previous class?
Basically the onset of the autumn. That was the thing which we started.
Yes, we started with the chapter number. Does anybody remember the chapter number?
The page 190,
20.
second paragraph.
Chapter number 20.
20.
We saw chapter number 20. We went somewhere midway through, but we were not able to complete the chapter. Okay. So in that chapter, which is titled Description of Autumn, we saw how after a very scorching summer season, how the rains have started, and which is very much appreciated. We saw, no? Very much appreciated the rains that come after a very scorching summer in Vrindavan. So there is a description of how the rainy season is, and there is a description of how what are the activities of Krishna in the rainy season. And then as we proceed in the chapter, we will see how the autumn season is also described in great detail, and the different characteristics of the rainy season and different characteristics of the autumn season are compared to different features, different metaphors are given, some comparisons are given. No, for example, in the beginning of the chapter, we saw the metaphor of how the sky is covered with dark blue clouds, and there is thunder and lightning. And that is compared to how the living entity, how the spirit soul is covered by the three modes of material nature. So, and then we went on to discuss in further detail about the three modes of material nature. We saw different aspects. We saw the characteristics. We saw the destination of the people in the three modes. We saw charity in the three modes. We saw austerity, penances in the three modes. We saw the foods in the three modes. So like that, we discussed the three modes of material nature. Then another metaphor we saw was how the sun evaporates water from the earth for 8 months. And then in the rainy season, everything is returned. So that is compared to how the king, he imposes taxes upon the people, but then he engages in welfare activities, and those very taxes that he has collected from the people, then he returns it in the form of welfare activities. No? So like that, we saw different metaphors in this chapter, and we will continue to see them today. Share my screen. What was the last slide we saw? Does anybody remember? Whose story did we see in the last slide in the previous class?
I forgot the name. He get distracted by the fish, right?
It was Haridas Thakur.
Haridas, yeah. That 4 stories we
Kaubari
saw.
Muni.
Kaubari Muni.
Yeah.
Kaubari Muni.
Yes. So this was the last slide, right? So now we have to continue from here. In the rainy season, some of the roads are not frequently used, and they become covered with long grasses. These roads are exactly like a Brahmana who is not accustomed to studying and practicing the reformatory methods of the Vedic injunctions. He becomes covered with the long grasses of Maya. In that condition, forgetful of his constitutional nature, he forgets his position of eternal servitorship to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. by being deviated by the seasonal overgrowth of long grasses created by Maya, a person identifies himself with the Mayic production and succumbs to illusion, forgetting his spiritual life. So, just as how the roads in the rainy season, some of the roads are not very frequently used, so they become covered with grass. In the same way, a Brahmana who is not accustomed to studying and practicing the reformatory methods of the Vedic injunctions, he becomes covered with Maya, the long grasses of Maya. So this is the metaphor, this is the comparison that is being made. Because one must study and also practice what one is studying. Studying the scriptures is very, very important, that is jnana, but application of that knowledge is also very, very important, that is vijnana. So both are important, jnana and vijnana. There is no meaning to vijnana if there is no jnana, because how will we apply something if we have not studied, if we don't have knowledge about it? And what is the use of having the knowledge of something, but if we don't put it to use, then what is the use? So therefore jnana and vijnana both are very, very important. So a Brahmana must study and practice what he is studying. Otherwise, one will be covered with Maya, one will be covered by illusion. This, of course, applies to devotees. Now we know one personality, Ravan, from the Ramayana. Now his father was Brahman, right? And therefore he had a lot of Vedic knowledge. So he had jnana. But what he lacked was Vijnana. He did not put into practice what he had learned from the Shastras. Therefore, he is not considered to be a devotee. He is considered to be a demon because his activities were demoniac, where he did not put into practice what he had studied. And therefore, ultimately, he was killed by Lord Ram. See, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains how we have to study and how we have to practice. See this verse here from chapter 10. Krishna says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. Bhajatam, your devotional service should be how? It should be satatam. Satata means it should be always, it should be constant. It's not that I take a day off on Sunday or I take a day off. Okay, today is Sunday, so I'm not going to chant my rounds. No, it has to be constant. It has to be constant. It has to be satatam, always. So your devotional service should be constant and it should be rendered in loving ecstasy, preeti purvakam, with love and devotion. We should engage in devotional service, not that we are doing it in a grudging mood. So devotional service should be constant and it should be rendered in loving devotional service. Then what Krishna says, if you do it like that, if you do your devotional service in this mood, then dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. So then Krishna says, I will give the understanding by which they can come to me. So we learn, right? We engage in jnana and vijnana. We are constantly engaging in devotional service with love. Then Krishna says, I give you the understanding. So then Krishna gives you the realizations. Because we may have theoretical knowledge, no? But when we start applying that theoretical knowledge, then Krishna gives us what is called as realizations to strengthen our faith even more in jnana and vijnana. For example, I will tell you one incident from my own personal life. When I was beginning in Krishna consciousness, I was taught that, okay, you offer the food to your deities, to Sri Radha Krishna, and then it is prasad and things like that. So yes, I was doing that. But then to strengthen my faith even further, there was this incident. My daughter was young and she was like a year or less than a year old, and somehow she had developed vomiting. And I took her to the doctor. She had taken her medicines, but the vomiting would not stop somehow. Then there was this devotee. She came to my house. For some reason, she visited my house. And then she saw that my daughter was unwell and she said, okay, give me some water and some herbs. She just used some very simple mint leaves. She put that in hot water and she offered it to the Lord with love and devotion in my altar in my house. And then she said, you just give this to your daughter. And she had that mint water, and after that she never vomited again. So because that was prasad and she had offered with so much love and devotion, and when I saw that, my faith strengthened even further. that yes, prasad is not ordinary, prasad is transcendental. So like that, when we engage in devotional service, then Krishna gives you realizations to further strengthen your faith. So like this, if you ask devotees, there will be so many incidents that devotees would be able to tell you from their own personal lives as well. So to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me, Krishna says. Because what happens if your devotional service is not constant, we will develop cracks in our consciousness. Cracks in our consciousness. See this. Guard against the tiny crack, it can end in a mighty crash. So there's this great big dam, great piece of engineering. But this dam has developed a small crack. Initially, it may seem that it is insignificant, right? But if this crack is not repaired on time, what will happen? Over a period of time, that dam is going to come crashing down. So like that, we may think that, oh, just a little bit of enjoyment. Let me just engage in a little bit of something, no? Oh, it's weekend. Oh, it's this great birthday party and I'm really hungry. And there is no prasad available. No, whatever is being served there is not suitable for consumption by a Vaishnava. So one thing, okay, let me just engage in it just this one time. Nobody's watching. No. But then what will happen over a period of time, that small little crack in our consciousness will lead to our fall down. Because that's exactly what Maya needs. That small little crack in our consciousness is what she's looking for. And it'll lead to our downfall. Just like how Saubhari Muni's downfall happened because he saw a couple of fish mating in the water only. So like that, we have to be very, very careful of our sadhana. Don't develop any cracks in our sadhana. It has to be constant. Because habits start by being too weak to be felt and end up becoming too strong to be left. Initially, we may think that it's just a small little thing. No, you don't feel it. But then later it becomes so strong that we are not able to leave it. Every addiction starts like that. No, every person, every chain smoker, every drug addict, every drunkard, they start with something. Oh, it's just one peg or just one cigarette or just let me see what it feels like. But then they end up becoming addicts and then it is so strong that they are not able to leave it. So we have to be very, very careful. Also, habits are like soft, cozy beds, easy to get in, but very difficult to get out. So therefore, we should always be on our guard and have our sadhana very, very strong. Coming back to Krishna book. During the rainy season, lightning appears in one group of clouds and then immediately in another group of clouds. This phenomenon is compared to a lusty woman who does not fix her mind on one man. A cloud is compared to a qualified person because it pours rain and gives sustenance to many people. A man who is qualified similarly gives sustenance to the many living creatures, such as family members or many workers in a business. Unfortunately, his whole life can be disturbed by a wife who divorces him. When the man is disturbed, the whole family is ruined. The children are dispersed or the business is closed and everything is affected. It is therefore recommended that a woman desiring to advance in Krishna consciousness live peacefully with her husband and that the couple not separate under any condition. The husband and wife should control sex indulgence and concentrate their minds on Krishna consciousness so their life may be successful. After all, in the material world, a man requires a woman and a woman requires a man. When they are combined, they should live peacefully in Krishna consciousness and should not be restless like the lightning, flashing from one group of clouds to another. So, see, the role of a woman for a peaceful Krishna conscious family is very, very important because if the woman is not a devotee, if the woman is demoniac, then everything can come crashing down. So it's true that the man is the head of the family, but the woman is the heart of the family. So even when in the Bhagavad Gita, one of the reasons Arjuna gave to not fight the war was that it will lead to women becoming corrupted, and that will that will lead to unwanted population. Because Arjuna said that if we fight this war and we kill all these great warriors, then all the women will be widowed, and women will be widowed, and it may lead to their getting corrupted, because they are not under the shelter of their father They are not under the shelter of their husbands or their sons. So that will lead to unwanted population. Unwanted population, Varna Shankara, means those children who are born out of a marriage. Children born within a marriage, the Vedic system recommends the Garbhadhana Samskara, where the husband and wife, they are under the right consciousness. They seek blessings from the elders, they seek blessings from the Brahmana, and at an auspicious time they unite. So they are able to attract a good soul, a devotee soul in the womb of the mother. But a child who was born out of wedlock, then all these factors are not available. No? So it's not auspicious, and therefore they may end up attracting a demoniac soul in the womb also. So therefore Arjuna argued that it will lead to unwanted population. Therefore he did not want to fight the war. So the role of the woman is very, very important in Krishna conscious, in a smooth, happy Krishna conscious society. Now see this line here, the husband and wife should control sex indulgence and concentrate their minds on Krishna consciousness so their life may be successful. Now in the modern times, what has happened, it's considered to be okay, it's fine, it's authorized. What is wrong in excessive sex indulgence? One may question. But if you see in the previous ages, the couple would not engage in sexual activities unless they want to have a child, a devotee child, a Krishna conscious child. Now there is scientific evidence also behind this as to why it is not recommended from the scientific angle of vision. See, Ayurveda says that it takes 80 drops of blood to make 1 drop of semen. Let's read this. 1 drop of semen is manufactured out of 40 drops of blood according to modern medical science. According to Ayurveda, it is elaborated out of 80 drops of blood. Some Ayurvedic texts state that each sexual intercourse is equivalent to an energy expenditure of 24 hours of mental work or 72 hours of physical work. It is believed that consumption of 60 pounds of food is required to produce the amount of semen in a single ejaculation. According to Ayurveda, semen is the last dhatu that is formed out of food. Out of food is manufactured child. Out of child comes blood. Out of blood comes flesh. Out of flesh comes fat. Out of fat comes bone. Out of bone comes marrow. Out of marrow comes semen. These are the sapta dhatus, or the 7 dhatus that support this life and body. Mark here how precious is the semen. It is the last essence. It is the essence of essences. The energy that is wasted during one sexual intercourse is tantamount to the energy that is spent in physical labor for 10 days, or the energy that is utilized in mental work for 3 days. Bad memory, premature old age, impotence, various sorts of eye diseases, and various nervous diseases are attributed to the heavy loss of this vital fluid. In the Patanjali Yoga Shastras, it is said, falling of semen brings death, preservation of semen gives life. Semen is the real vitality in men. It is the hidden treasure in man. It imparts Brahma Tejas to the face and strength to the intellect. This is from the Patanjali Yoga Shastras. Can you identify the characters on your screen?
Dronacharya and Arjun.
Yes, Dronacharya and Arjun. Very nice. So, do you know about how Dronacharya was born? Why is he called Dronacharya? Dron means what? Does anybody know?
It's a dona made out of a leaf.
A don or a drone is like a pot. Okay, it's like a pot. So Dronacharya actually appeared he was born not in the womb of a mother, but from a pot. Does anybody know that story? Okay, so Dronacharya's father, he went for a bath and he happened to see an Apsara. And when he saw that Apsara, he was attracted to her and therefore he ejaculated, but he did not waste his precious fluid. No, what he did was he deposited it in a pot. And from that pot, Dronacharya was born. From that pot, Dronacharya was born. So what is the point we're trying to make here is they would not waste the vital fluid just like that for pleasure. That's the point here. So it is so precious. So therefore, It's not that one can engage in sexual intercourse for the sake of pleasure. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that when you engage in this activity for the sake of having Krishna conscious children, then that is Krishna, that is me, Krishna says. No? So that is authorized, but not for your own sense gratification. That is the highest standard. Yes, Priyanka Jha says it seems similar to IVF in today's time. Yes, our ancestors, they knew the science behind being able to have children without the womb of the mother. That was available to them. Yeah, Shreya, you have your hand raised?
Yeah, I think you almost answered, but like I was like, how is this possible without the egg?
Yeah,
The
they have
donor.
the information. Even the same thing happened with Gandhari, no? Because
Yeah.
she kicked her womb, a ball came out of her womb. But then Vyasadeva divided it into 101 and he kept them in pots. And he created that atmosphere, the temperature, and he would put these different oils inside so that the fetus can grow. So that information was available to our ancestors. Okay. So there is more information. Eminent doctors of the West say that various kinds of diseases arise from the loss of semen, particularly in young age. There appears boils on the body, acne or eruptions on the face, blue lines around the eyes, absence of beard, sunken eyes, pale face with anemia, loss of memory, loss of eyesight, short-sightedness, discharge of semen along with urine, enlargement of testes, pain in the testes, debility, drowsiness, laziness, gloominess, palpitation of the heart, dyspnoea or difficulty in breathing. I don't know what this is, how this is pronounced. Pain in the back, loins, head and joints, weak kidneys, passing urine in sleep, fickle-mindedness, lack of thinking power, bad dreams, wet dreams, and restlessness of the mind. So if you see someone, especially nowadays, if you see non-devotees, karmis, the youth, no, if you see them, you will see their appearance is mostly like this. A lot of people have acne problems, a lot of them have sunken eyes, a lot of them have loss of memory. People are not able to memorize. Students nowadays, they are not able to memorize their text like before. No, so many of them are using glasses, and so many of these problems are there in the current generation. Okay, coming back to Krishna book. Sometimes in addition to the roaring thunder of the clouds, there is appearance of a rainbow which stands as a bow without a string. Actually, a bow is in the curved position because it is tied as its two ends, as it is tied at its two ends by the bowstring. But in the rainbow, there is no such string, and yet it rests in the sky so beautifully. Similarly, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead descends in this material world, he appears just like an ordinary human being, but he is not resting on any material condition. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that he appears by his internal potency, which is free from the bondage of the external potency. What is bondage for the ordinary creature is freedom for the personality of Godhead. In the rainy season, the moonlight is covered by clouds but is visible at intervals. It sometimes appears that the moon is moving with the movement of the clouds, but actually the moon is still. Due to the clouds, it also appears to move. Similarly, for one who has identified himself with the moving material world, his actual spiritual luster is covered by illusion. And with the movement of material activities, he thinks that he is moving through different spheres of life. This is due to false ego, which is the demarcation between spiritual and material existence, just as the moving cloud is the demarcation between moonlight and darkness. In the rainy season, when the clouds appear for the first time, the peacocks dance with joy upon seeing them. The peacocks can be compared to persons who are very much harassed in the materialistic way of life. If they can find the association of a person engaged in loving devotional service of the Lord, they become enlightened and dance just like peacocks. We have practical experience of this. Many of our students were dry and morose previous to their coming to Krishna consciousness, but having come into contact with devotees, they are now dancing like jubilant peacocks. So, what example we saw, no, of that model who in the previous class we saw how after a successful international career in modeling, while she was having that career modeling, she took to Krishna consciousness and she's so happy. Even today, she's a devotee in our congregation. Plants and creepers grow by drinking water from the ground. Similarly, a person practicing austerities becomes dry, but after the austere performances are completed, he gets the result. He begins to enjoy life in sense gratification with family, society, love, home, and other paraphernalia. He becomes jolly like newly grown plants and grass. Sometimes it is seen that the cranes and ducks meander continually on the banks of the lakes and rivers, although the banks are filled with muddy garbage and thorny creepers. Similarly, persons who are householders without Krishna consciousness are constantly tarrying in material life in spite of all kinds of inconveniences. In family life or any life, one cannot be perfectly happy without being Krishna conscious. Why? Because our our position is what? That we are eternally the servants of God. And a servant means he has to serve God. So when we engage in devotional service, we are engaging in seva, we are engaging in devotional service to the Lord, and that is what is going to keep us happy. Let's just visualize a fish who has been taken out of water. No, the fish is struggling. Now you give this fish some food, some nice clothes, some jewelry, some perfume, some expensive gifts. Is the fish interested? Is any of these things going to interest the fish? No, no. The only thing the fish wants is the fish wants to go back to its water. No, this from where the fish has come from. That's the only thing that the fish wants. So we are also like that. We originally are coming from the spiritual world where there is eternal happiness, and we come here and we are looking for happiness. So that's why every one of us wants to be happy. It's only natural that we want to be happy. But the problem is we are looking for happiness in the wrong places, in the wrong things. We think wealth, beauty, fame, strength, health, family, wife, kids, these things are going to bring us happiness, but they are not going to bring us happiness. The only thing that is going to keep us happy is when we reconnect with the Lord, when we revive our lost Krishna consciousness. Srila Narottam Das Thakur prays that he will have the association of a person, either a householder or a man in the renounced order of life, who is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord and is always crying the holy name of Lord Chaitanya. For the materialistic person, worldly affairs become too aggressive, whereas to a person who is in Krishna consciousness, everything appears to be happily situated. So, of course, one of our acharyas in our disciplic line, Srila Narottam Das Thakur, prays that he wants to always have the association of a devotee. Doesn't matter whether he's a grihastha, whether he's a householder or he's a sannyasi in the renounced order of life. All that he wants is association of a devotee. When we have association of a devotee, then automatically we can seal our fate in Krishna consciousness. So association is very, very important. The ABCD of Krishna consciousness, A, it starts with associating with a devotee. Next. The barriers around an agricultural field sometimes break due to heavy torrents of rain. Similarly, the unauthorized atheistic propaganda in the age of Kali breaks the boundary of the Vedic injunctions. Thus, people gradually degenerate to godlessness. In the rainy season, the clouds, tossed by the wind, deliver water which is welcomed like nectar. When the Vedic followers, the Brahmanas, inspire rich men like kings and members of the wealthy mercantile community to give charity in the performance of great sacrifices, the distribution of such wealth is also nectarian. The four sections of the human society, namely the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, are meant to live peacefully in a cooperative mood. This is possible when they are guided by expert Vedic Brahmanas who perform sacrifices and distribute wealth equally. So, this is actually the original caste system which Krishna himself has established, division of the human society according to their varna and their ashrama. What are the four varnas? Is the division of the society according to the work they do, according to the nature they have. That is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. So that is varnas, and the four ashramas are the division of the society according to the stage of life one is in. So the first stage of life is the student life, then comes married life, then comes retired life, and then comes renounced life. That is brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. So these four varnas and these four ashramas together, they are called as the Varnashram society. That is the original caste system that Krishna himself has introduced. And for a smooth working of this Varnashram, for the smooth working of the society, for the people to be peaceful in general, this Varnashram system should be uh, this Varnashram system should be running smoothly, which means all of them are equally important. No, the role of a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and the role of a Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas, they all contribute to the smooth working of this Varnashram society. The Brahmanas are compared to the heads of the society. The Kshatriyas are the arms of the society. The Vaishyas are the stomach, and the Shudras are the legs of the society. Now, one man will not say that it's okay, you can cut off my legs. It does not matter to me. It will not affect me in any way. No. The man requires his legs as much as he wants his stomach, as much as he wants his arms, as much as he wants his head. No. So, otherwise, the man is called discapacitated. So, in the same way, the smooth working of society will be affected if any one of these four are not doing their duties as per what is required. So, this is the perfect caste system. The modern day caste system of high caste and low caste, actually, that's not what Krishna established. Vrindavan forest improved from the rains and was replete with ripened dates, mangoes, blackberries, and other fruits. Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with his boyfriends and Lord Balaram, entered the forest to enjoy the new seasonal atmosphere. The cows, being fed by new grasses, became very healthy, and their milk bags were all very full. When Lord Krishna called them by name, they immediately came to him out of affection, and in their joyful condition the milk flowed from their bags. Lord Krishna was very pleased when passing through the Vrindavan forest by the side of Govardhan hill. On the bank of the Yamuna, he saw all the trees decorated with beehives pouring honey. There were many waterfalls on Govardhana hill, and their flowing made a nice sound. Krishna heard them as he looked into the caves of the hill. When the rainy season was not ended completely but was gradually turning to autumn, sometimes, especially when there was rainfall within the forest, Krishna and his companions would sit under a tree or within the caves of Govardhan hill and enjoy eating the ripened fruits and talking with great pleasure. When Krishna and Balaram were in the forest, Mother Yashoda used to send them some fruits, sweetmeats, and rice mixed with yogurt. Krishna would take them, sit down on a slab of stone on the bank of the Yamuna, and call his friends to join him. While Krishna and Balaram and their friends were eating, they watched the cows, calves, and bulls. The cows appeared to be a little tired from standing with their heavy milk bags. By sitting and chewing grass, they became happy, and Krishna was pleased to see them. He was proud to see the beauty of the forest due to the rainy season, which was nothing but the manifestation of his own energy. At such times, Krishna would praise nature's special activities during the rainy season. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita that material nature or nature is not independent in its actions. Nature is acting under the superintendence of Krishna. This is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita, which states that material nature, known as Durga, is acting as the shadow of Krishna. Whatever order is sent from Krishna, material nature obeys. Therefore, the natural beauty created by the rainy season was acted out according to the indications of Krishna, who thus felt very proud of material nature's beautiful activities. So, what is this Brahma Samhita? We have discussed before.
It's written by Lord Brahma, his
Aha, Lord
realization.
Brahma. Yes. What else? Do we know anything else?
Lord mine.
It is about the pastimes of Lord Krishna.
Okay. He's
What did he
glorifying
do?
the pastimes.
So
How many
basically,
chapters?
Is it 100 or something?
100 chapters. How many are available to us?
5, I think.
One is available.
Only one chapter is available, which is the 5th chapter. No, that's there on your Veda base. Very nice. Okay. So, see, coming to this point of material nature acting under the superintendence of Krishna, Here we have in the Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says, this material energy, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. So Krishna also, he says this exact same thing, that material nature, none other than Durga Devi, she is acting under the direction of Krishna. Krishna himself declares this, and also in the Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma declares the exact same thing. Coming back to Krishna book. When Krishna and Balaram were enjoying the gifts of the rainy season in this way, the autumn season gradually arrived, when all the water reservoirs became very clean, and thus pleasing and refreshing air blows everywhere. With the appearance of autumn, the sky was completely cleared of all clouds, and it recovered its natural blue color. The blooming lotus flowers in the clear water in the forest appeared like persons who have fallen down from yoga practice, but have again become beautiful by resuming their spiritual life. Everything becomes naturally beautiful with the appearance of the autumn season. Similarly, when a materialistic person takes to Krishna consciousness and spiritual life, he also becomes as clear as the sky and water in autumn. The autumn season takes away the rolling of dark clouds in the sky as well as the polluted water. Filthy conditions on the ground also become cleansed. Similarly, a person who takes to Krishna consciousness immediately becomes cleansed of all dirty things within and without. Krishna is therefore known as Hari. Hari means he who takes away. Krishna immediately takes away all unclean habits from anyone who takes to Krishna consciousness. The clouds of autumn are white, for they do not carry any water. Similarly, a retired man, being freed from all responsibility of family affairs, namely maintaining the home, wife, and children, and taking completely to Krishna consciousness, becomes freed from all anxieties and looks as white as clouds in autumn. Sometimes in autumn, the falls come down from the top of the hill to supply clean water, and sometimes they stop. Similarly, sometimes great saintly persons distribute clear knowledge, and sometimes they are silent. The small ponds which are filled with water because of the rainy season gradually dry up in autumn. As for the small aquatics living in the reservoirs, they cannot understand that their ponds are diminishing day by day, just as the materially engrossed persons cannot understand that their duration of life is being reduced day by day. Such persons are engaged in maintaining cows, property, children, wife, society, and friendship. Due to the reduced water and scorching heat from the sun in the autumn season, the small creatures living in the small reservoirs of water are very much disturbed. They are exactly like uncontrolled persons who are always unhappy from being happy to enjoy life or maintain their family members. The muddy earth gradually dries up and newly grown fresh vegetation begins to wither. Similarly, for one who has taken to Krishna consciousness, desire for family enjoyment gradually dries up. So, when we take to Krishna consciousness, automatically we develop a distaste for materialistic sense gratification. We don't have to artificially endeavor to give up sense gratification. It happens naturally as a byproduct. As soon as we start chanting the holy name, as soon as we start engaging in devotional services, hearing, chanting, we have 9 items of devotional service. No? We have discussed Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. So as soon as we start engaging in devotional service, automatically the cleaning process begins. So automatically all the impurities of the heart, they start to disappear. It happens naturally as a byproduct of our engaging in devotional service. We don't have to artificially endeavor to overcome sense gratificatory tendencies. Because of the appearance of the autumn season, the water of the ocean becomes calm and quiet, just as a person developed in self-realization becomes free from disturbance by the 3 modes of material nature. In autumn, farmers save the water within the fields by building strong walls so that the water contained within the field cannot run out. There is hardly any hope for new rainfall. Therefore, they want to save whatever is in the field. Similarly, a person who is advanced in self-realization protects his energy by controlling the senses. It is advised that after the age of 50, one should retire from family life and conserve the energy of the body for utilization and advancement of Krishna consciousness. Unless one is able to control the senses and engage in the transcendental loving service of Mukunda, there is no possibility of salvation. See, the average human life at the beginning of Kali Yuga was 100 years. Now, of course, as Kali Yuga advances, people are dying earlier. No, now if somebody reaches 100, it's considered that the person has lived a very, very long life. But at the beginning of Kali Yuga, the average human life was 100 years. So if you have to divide this 100 years into 4, so the first 25 years are for student life. The next 25 years are for your grihastha life, family life, marriage, children. Then the next 25 years from the age of 50 to 75 are for your retired life, is for Vanaprastha. And the last 25 years are for your renounced life, sannyas. So this is how these 100 years of the human life are divided. So first 50 years are student and married life. 51st year to 75 years is the retired life. So if you see the word 51 in Hindi is ikyavan, ikyavan. So that word one is there in that word number 51 itself, which is saying it is time for you to retire. So Vanaprastha, previously Vanaprastha, what they do, they would leave their home and they would go proceed towards the forest. But they were allowed to go to the forest with their family members because they have retired, but they are not renounced. No, so it's Vanaprastha, not sannyas. So see that word 51, our shastras, our language is so glorious that actually that number 51 itself is telling you that now it is time for you to retire. So that's what it's saying here. Prabhupada explains. It is advised that after the age of 50, one should retire from family life and conserve the energy of the body for utilization and advancement of Krishna consciousness. Unless one is able to control the senses and engage them in the transcendental loving service of Mukunda, there is no possibility of salvation. Now, what does this name Mukunda mean?
Giver of liberation.
He is the giver of liberation. Yes. So therefore, unless we don't engage in the service of Mukunda, then there is no possibility of liberation. Because who is the giver of liberation? It is Krishna. Shreya, you have your hand raised. I'm sorry, I just saw it.
No, no problem. So, since the time I've read this chapter, I had this question. So, in autumn, like, here, like, especially in the western part of the world, it's rivers, right? Like, it's so dead, and the leaves come out, and it's like it gets dark earlier, and it's depressing. But here, like, when we read, it's like the opposite, everything is blooming. So, why is it that?
Actually, autumn is the transition period. It's going from summer to not so scorching heat, but the days are hot, the evenings are cool. It's like a transition period. It's not, so you're transitioning from being very hot to going towards pleasing and then the cold. So it's like the mornings are still hot and scorching, but the evenings are getting more pleasant in autumn. That's what is autumn.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. During the daytime in autumn, the sun is very scorching. Oh, exactly what we were discussing. During the daytime in autumn, the sun is very scorching, but at night, due to clear moonshine, people get relief from the day's fatigue. Similarly, a person who takes shelter of Mukunda or Krishna can be saved from the fatigue of misidentifying the body with the self. Mukunda or Krishna is also the source of solace for the damsels of Vrindavan. The damsels of Rajabhumi are always suffering because of separation from Krishna. But when they meet him during the moonlight autumn night, their fatigue of separation is relieved. When the sky is clear of all clouds, the stars at night shine very beautifully. Similarly, when a person is actually situated in Krishna consciousness, he is cleared of all dirty things and he becomes as beautiful as the stars in the autumn sky. Although the Vedas contain instructions for pursuing knowledge, jnana, For practicing mystic yoga and for engaging in karmic activities in the form of sacrifices, the ultimate purpose of the Vedas is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. One has to accept Krishna consciousness after thoroughly studying the Vedas. Therefore, the clean heart of a devotee in Krishna consciousness can be compared to the clean sky of the autumn season. See here, the Vedas, they take you through a progression, no? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. These are the four subject matters of the Vedas. Dharma means material religiosity. What is material religiosity? I engage in some religious practices, but I expect something in return. So that is the beginning. The Vedas start their knowledge from material religiosity, Dharma. Then Artha means economic development. So when we engage in religious practices and we expect something in return, okay, I promise to the Lord that I will feed 100 brahmanas or I will donate my property to the temple if this desire of mine is fulfilled. So once your desire is fulfilled, no, so you're getting something in return. So that is economic development, economic development. Now, when there is economic development, next is sense gratification, because once you have lot of opulence, then you tend to, or one tends to engage in sense gratificatory activities. So that is kama, dharma, artha, kama. And when we are engaging in sense gratification, then over a certain point, we come, no, then you're saturated. Because how much can you engage in sense gratification? Then comes the point of realization that actually, no matter how much I'm engaging in sense gratification, I'm not feeling satisfied. There is something missing. I'm looking for something beyond this. No, one may, it's like somebody loves to eat, let's say, gulab jamuns. He's eating one, he will relish. Two, three, four. How many will he eat? Then he'll come to the saturation point. No more. I don't want more of this, right? So like that, you come to one comes to the point of saturation in sense gratification, and then one realize that I want something beyond. I want happiness, but I want eternal happiness, not temporary happiness. So then one goes for moksha, one is leading to liberation. So dharma, artha, kama, moksha, these are the four subject matters of the Vedas. So the Vedas take you through this progression, and it's in the end only the Vedas reveal that actually the goal of life is to engage in loving transcendental service to Lord Sri Krishna. That is the conclusion of the Vedas. So this is what is said here. Although the Vedas contain instructions for pursuing knowledge, for practicing mystic yoga, and engage in karmic activities in the form of sacrifices, the ultimate purpose of the Vedas is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. One has to accept Krishna consciousness after thoroughly studying the Vedas. So that is the conclusion of all the Vedic literature. Therefore, the clean heart of a devotee in Krishna consciousness can be compared to the clean sky of the autumn season. During autumn, the moon looks very bright, along with the stars in the clear sky. Lord Krishna himself appeared in the sky of the Yadu dynasty, and he was exactly like the moon surrounded by the stars or the members of the Yadu dynasty. When there are ample blooming flowers in the gardens in the forest, the fresh aromatic breeze gives great relief to the persons who have suffered during the summer and rainy seasons. Unfortunately, such breezes could not give any relief to the gopis because of their heart's dedication to Krishna. People in general might have taken pleasure in that nice autumn breeze, but the gopis, not being embraced by Krishna, were not very much satisfied. On the arrival of the autumn season, all the cows, deer, birds, and females in general become pregnant because in that season, all the husbands generally become impelled by sex desire. Such pregnant females are exactly like the transcendentalists who, by the grace of the Supreme Lord, are bestowed with the benediction of their destinations in life. Srila Rupa Goswami has instructed in his Upadeshamrita that one should execute devotional service with great enthusiasm, patience, and convictions, and should follow the rules and regulations, keep oneself clean from material contamination, and stay in the association of devotees. By following these six principles, one is sure to achieve the desired result of devotional service. For one who patiently follows the regulative principles of devotional service, the time will undoubtedly come when he will achieve the desired result, just as the females reap results by becoming pregnant. See this Upadeshamrita, The Nectar of Instruction by Srila Rupa Goswami. Very, very nice book. It's actually a part of the Bhakti Shastri course. ISKCON has different degree courses. And when we do the Bhakti Shastri course, then it includes the intensive study of 4 books. What is that? Bhagavad Gita, Upadeshamrita, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and Ishopanishad. So this is one of those 4 books in our Bhakti Shastri study, the Upadeshamrita of Rupa Goswami. And he mentions these 6 items, 6 principles that are favorable for our devotional service. What are these 6 principles? We can see here directly in the letter of instructions. The 6 principles favorable for the execution of pure devotional service. 1 being enthusiastic, utsaha. We should engage in devotional service with enthusiasm, not being morose, no, not in a grudging mode. So being enthusiastic. 2, endeavoring with confidence. No, we should have full faith. Yes, this is going to work. 3, being patient, because things take time. Sometimes people, they just start chanting this, okay, now all my problems, everything should be resolved. I should be 100% pure devotee. No, that's not going to happen. It takes time. So one has to be patient. Acting according to regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. So always we have to act according to the regulative principles, engage in the items of devotional service. 5, abandoning the association of non-devotees. So we have to give up the association of non-devotees. Very, very important. And 6, following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. So these 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success